long did that take you guys?
Probably total like 17 hours. Yeah. Well, and we did it in like video song style, so like everything that you heard was literally just recorded with that specific camera right there. Hello. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And Jamoki is so cool. You should all subscribe to him.
I think his singing there made the video.
Yeah, I think so. It definitely added a lot to it. So right, like I said in that, if you were paying attention to the lyrics, I got my start with the Rubik's Cube tutorial. That thing went viral.
How many, 25 million views now?
Yeah, I mean, I uploaded it back before you could have a video that was longer than 10 minutes, so it's in 2 parts. Part 1 has close to 20 million views, part 2 has like 15 or so, I don't know.
Still better than anything I have, so.
A lot. So, I mean, like,
you were on CNN. I feel like that's a big thing that kind of got you launched.
That did happen. Yeah, I was on CNN before the first presidential debate of the 2008 election cycle, and I called the winner. I was like, Barack Obama's going to win.
When you have a 50% chance, I think it's pretty good odds you're going to call the winner.
This was when there were like 20 candidates. I'm just saying.
So you're like Oprah.
Sure. So Dan 3.0. I feel like we should talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I think the question is, how is it going?
Yes. What is the state of Dan 3.0? How are you enjoying it? How's everything?
Let's start at the beginning of Dan 3.0. I think.
Yeah. So I VidCon last year when you announced it.
Yes, I did a great job of building up hype for it. And then it kind of...
That's half the battle.
Well, okay. So the transition from being just a video blogger to actually producing like a full-length show, like I knew it was going to be intense, but like it didn't become real until it became real. And when it became real, I kind of freaked out because at the time I was doing 5 episodes a week. They were like 10-minute episodes. I was shooting, editing, starring in completely by myself, and I had a complete meltdown. And I fell off the face of the earth for 2 weeks. No one knew where I went. It was bad. But we regrouped. And the way I framed the project of VidCon was it's part show, part project, part social experiment. And I think this really speaks to the experiment part of it. Putting your life in the hands of, the masses is a kind of confusing thing. And because I built up so much hype for it, I really wanted the audience to think big. And they did think really big. Like a lot of the tasks were submitted like, start a university, or, break a world record. And that's great.
How's the university going?
Yes. The world record, however, training to break the world record for the most consecutive pogo stick bounces. I'm going to attempt that on July 2nd. We'll see.
Live?
Yes, live streamed, probably on YouTube.
But anyways, what kind of tricked you up in the beginning was how big it was, or how big they took it.
And I put a lot of pressure on myself too. But took a deep breath, backed up. For a while then, it was just like really small tasks. It was like, instead of picking the actual highest rated task, it was like, okay, what can we do today? What can we make an episode? The first priority was just getting the show put together. And it's kind of been a gradual progression since then. It's definitely had its ups and downs, but I moved to San Francisco. That was a choice that I let the audience make. I started this project based in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I love Nebraska. But
anybody here from Nebraska? I heard some woos.
They're lying. I am. But it became clear, like, I wasn't in like a city. So it became clear that it wasn't the best place to have the project based. So I just let the audience vote on where I should move. And so it came down to San Francisco, California, where they wound up winning, and gay West Virginia, which is a city of 0 people. It's literally just like an incorporated district in the middle of nowhere, like Appalachia. But the person who submitted that actually they weren't trolling. They had a whole paragraph that was like, I think this would be a really cool direction to take the project. You'd have to build like a log cabin, blah, blah, blah. And so it would have been interesting, but I'm glad I'm in San Francisco.
It might have broken you.
Yes.
How are you enjoying San Francisco?
I'm loving it.
Going from Midwest, living in Nebraska your whole life, moving to San Francisco, California, just, you know, kind of inside the project, but also outside of the project. What is that like? How is that cultural transition?
You know, I mean, it's subtle. The differences between the Midwest and the West are subtle, but I've grown up in the Midwest my whole life, and so I didn't really realize how Midwestern I was until I moved out there, and it's nothing that I can put like specifically into words. I mean, anytime you move, it's going to be an adjustment. And I've been there for 3 months now, and but like I have to do weird things for this project. At one point, I had to make a suit out of duct tape and walk around downtown San Francisco and just like act like a tourist. I went figure skating, and like if I tried to do that in Nebraska, people would be like,
would you get arrested?
Probably not. But in San Francisco, it's like
just a normal day.
Yeah, there was a homeless guy a block away doing something weirder. So yeah, we're at a point now where hindsight 2020. I wish that the project would have been at this point at the beginning, but it's like, what it's kind of turned into is, I've changed a lot as an individual as a result of this project. I mean, how could you not?
Especially going from you starting in high school, what is it like growing up on YouTube? Because a lot of YouTube people start in college or start outside of college. What is it like? Because there has to be so many different pressures of not just growing up and maturing, but doing it all in front of everyone with all the criticisms that come with that. How is that been?
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're 17 years old, you have no inhibitions, and like, whatever, I'll put myself out there, and you build your persona that way, and then as you like grow up a little bit, and you're like, oh, maybe I don't want to do this, but that's the persona you have, and so like, it really is interesting. But I don't know, part of why I've taken on this project is I feel like it's a way to be a little bit more real. It's a way to try to be understood a little bit more deeply as an individual. Because I mean, that's really why we're all on YouTube. You know, we want
to connect a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's Zay Frank who said we want to feel and be felt, and that really speaks to me a whole lot. Like, it's really hard to understand who someone is as a person when they're just vlogging and there are lots of jump cuts. Like, you understand their thoughts about that specific topic or whatever they're talking about, but like the nuances that happen in like actual conversation don't get picked up on. So yeah.